Hello and welcome to another episode of the Raising Musos podcast, where we provide insights and advice for parents to help them support their child's musical journey. Yay! My name is Eliza. I'm the director of Music Makers Academy. We are a music school located in Joondalup in Western Australia, and we provide music lessons for children, teenagers and adults for a wide range of instruments. And in the last couple of episodes of this podcast, as you might already know if you are a regular listener, we have been chatting to our flute tutor Jensen, everything related to learning flute, playing flute. And so today we're going to continue our discussion with learning more about the actual instrument of the flute. So I have a whole heap of questions that I've gathered from the internet, and so hopefully by the end of today's conversation you will know a lot more about the flute. I feel like I have learned already so much from Jensen, and it's just been so interesting learning more about the flute, because there was so much that I didn't know. And now I'll be able to help more parents out when they have inquiries. Cool. Did you want to reintroduce yourself? Because people might not know who you are.
My name is Jensen. I'm the flute tutor here at Music Makers Academy, and I'm studying music at the University of Western Australia. I'm a second year, and I've done music for about 12 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. and actually, what made you pick the flute? So, because you in the first episode, you told us you played clarinet before you got bored of the clarinet. So, what made you interested in the flute? Shiny object.
Pretty. It sounds really pretty, and I love playing really difficult passages, which the flute often has. It sounds really nice. It just floats above all other instruments. I love the higher register as well, and the same with piccolo.
Yeah, piccolo. Okay, that's nice. I'm sure. I wonder if everyone who plays flute feels drawn for the same reasons. I find a lot of people play the harp because of the sound. It just sounds soothing to them and relaxing. So that's interesting. Okay, so we're going to start off by talking about the background, just some background facts about the flute. So a bit of history, which I wouldn't know anything about that, but when was the flute invented?
Okay, so flute is actually one of the oldest instruments in the world, dating back to about 40,000 years ago. And it would have been nothing like this. Obviously, it would have been a wooden flute with some holes in it. And that would be back in 40,000 years ago in Europe. However, the modern concert flute, C flute, was developed in the 19th century by Theobald Bowen, who chose this design.
And so before the flute, what instrument did people play? Before this particular one, in the Baroque.
Yeah, it would have been a Baroque flute, and that's wooden. The only bit of metal it has is this key, and it's just got holes in the wood that you use. It doesn't have a lip plate. It just has a hole in the head joint.
Because I know quite a few people who play the Baroque recorder. So would that be is the Baroque flute also held? Oh, yeah, I don't think I've seen one before. Does it have a similar sound?
It has a more
woody.
I'll just say wooden sound. Yes, more. I'd say a bit more hollow. A bit more hollow.
Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a Baroque flute. So Yeah, so that's really cool. It's interesting because the pedal harp was also like a development in the 19th century, especially the pedal harp as we know it today was in the same period. So it's sort of like a romantic-ish. The flute as we know now, romantic instrument. Wow.
But
And
you'll see like some professional flutists play, like in Mahler symphonies, they'll have a wooden flute, but it wouldn't be like a baroque wooden flute. It would have a wooden body, but it would have metal keys, so that it can have that sound from that romantic era.
oh, I see. Oh, like a period instrument almost.
Yeah.
Okay, so now tell us about how a sound is produced on the flute.
Okay, so a sound is created when you blow into the embouchure hole, and when this happens, the air splits and it vibrates and produces a sound. It's the same as blowing into a bottle, like a Coke bottle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, cool. Because sound is produced by vibrations in the air. Yeah, that's easy. And so, I probably asked this in a previous episode, but can you remind us like what the keys do?
So the keys change the length of the tube, and so if I put
so like
all the keys down,
would I be able to see something through the tube moving? Like if I look down at it? I can't see very much. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, if I have no keys down, then the tube isn't going to be the tube is going to be the same length, literally.
Yeah.
But it'll produce a higher sound if I put less keys down, and don't change the harmonics, because I'm letting the air escape through the previous keys. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing. And I'll just have this random question. Can the flute be amplified?
Amplified, like with an amp?
Yeah.
Well, in musicals that I've played in, you can't like attach an amp. They've just put like a microphone either here or here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Great. And so, this is basically the same. How is the flute played? So obviously we have to get air into the tube, and so we blow the air in. Is there anything else about like producing a sound on the flute people would have to know?
Well, yeah, the flute, or how to play the flute, hold it horizontally like this, with your left hand closest to you. Put your lip on the lip plate and blow air into the embouchure hole. Yeah, and you basically cover and uncover different holes to change the pitch.
Would you ever have like the hands like the other way around? Like this?
No.
And what are the different parts that make up the flute? Like if we take it apart and show us. So obviously you talk about the lip plate.
So yeah, we've got a lip plate here, got a crown. This is called the crown. Then you've got embouchure hole, and this whole piece is called the head joint. Then you've got the body, and then this is the main part, and then you've got the foot joint. And the foot joint can vary between different models of flutes. You can either have a B foot, which adds this extra key, or you can just have a C foot, so it just stops here.
And how many keys does it have? So like on your one, which has the B foot?
Oh gosh, I don't know off the top of my head, but flute is actually one of the instruments with the less amount of keys compared to like oboe or clarinet. They have more keys.
I didn't know that. I actually know so little about other instruments. Oops, that's a bit embarrassing. And okay, we also like mentioned this in the first episode because you talked about the different types of flutes. So, and you said this one is just like the orchestra, like concert C flute. So what are the different flute options? So
at the top of the flute family, we've got the piccolo. This plays an octave higher than the C flute. It's also less than half the size. But yes, it is a transposing instrument, which means it doesn't play the notes that are written on the sheet music. It actually plays them an octave higher. Then you've got the C flute. This is the most standard flute. Then under that you've got the alto flute, which is also a transposing instrument. It looks like this, except it's just a bit longer and a bit wider. It can also sometimes have a curved head joint for those who can't reach all the way because it is quite a bit longer. You've also got a bass flute, which will be even lower than an alto flute. Also has a curved head joint, produces a much lower sound, and then even further you've got contrabass, which actually literally stands on the floor and you have to stand up and play it because it's so big.
Wow, yeah, that's, and so how often, like in an orchestra, would you need like a bass flute?
Oh, not like rarely. Yeah. Not often.
Yeah.
It's usually just piccolo and flute.
And so, if you show us the piccolo a bit more, does that also have the same? It looks like it doesn't have that foot joint thing though.
You can get, but like you can. There's some very professional models that will have a C, because this just goes down to a low D. But yeah, this is what most piccolos will look like. They use the same fingerings as the flute. It's just that it's very out of tune usually. But yeah, piccolo's a challenge definitely for tuning.
And what's the piccolo like made of? Like, what's the material?
So most piccolos are made of grenadilla wood or African blackwood.
It's wood.
Yeah. So
yeah.
much like a clarinet, which is also made of the same wood.
What about the flute?
Yeah. So the flute, beginner models will be usually nickel or silver plated, and then or brass, and then if you go up to intermediate, semi-professional, you'll get silver plated models and full silver models, and then even further up you can get gold. I have a gold head joint.
You're gonna upgrade to having your completely gold flute at some
Hopefully,
point.
eventually. But yeah, or even platinum.
Yeah.
But they're really heavy. But a lot of professionals don't use gold flutes just because it's the sound that they want. Because a gold flute will produce a different sound to a silver flute. Gold is more of a darker, richer sound, and then silver is more of a bright sound.
So you got like a bit of both.
Yeah. But this isn't uncommon, having a gold head and a silver body.
Ah, okay.
It's quite common.
Yeah. Is there a reason why it's common? Is it like
well, for my reason, I obviously couldn't afford a full gold flute being a student, so I just got the head joint and it does a pretty good job. So
when you bought like your flute, did you have to like buy this one separately?
Yeah. So I got a silver head joint at home.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Makes sense. We already talked about the sort of like the difference between the flute and the piccolo. So like, which is there like one that you would say is harder?
Oh, the piccolo is so much harder.
Piccolo is
undeniably.
sorry, keep going.
Just to like play it in tune and everything, it's just a nightmare. Like, you have to learn so many alternate fingerings if you're going to play professionally. Basically, alternate fingerings are just fingerings for the same note, but they are fingered differently. And they can usually produce a slightly different pitch. And even depending on the dynamics, like when you play softer on a flute or a piccolo, it'll usually go flat, and when you play louder, it'll go sharp. But yeah, piccolo is definitely a lot harder, just because it's half the size, which means you need double you need half the airspeed, but you need more strength to play like very high.
Would someone ever play piccolo without knowing how to play flute first, or that's like never happens?
There's probably someone out there who's done it, but it's definitely not recommended. Yeah, because this is like, you need to play. If you play piccolo, then you play flute. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you have to. I would definitely say learn the flute before.
Cool. And what about the flute as opposed to the recorder? Like, what's the main difference between those two?
Well, the flute is held horizontally, and then the recorder is held this way. Recorder. Well, I don't have much experience on the recorder. I've played a bit. But
Yeah, I played in primary school.
yeah, the flute has a lip plate which you blow into, but the recorder actually has like a whistle mouthpiece which like put inside of your mouth. But yeah, I couldn't tell you much about the recorder.
Probably, I don't know if it's easy. It's probably easier to get a sound out of it.
Yeah.
Compared to the flute, which is why primary schools
offer it.
Yeah. Probably also a bit cheaper and more accessible because you can get some crappy recorders out there. Would you say it's a good idea, like, to do with some recorder before switching to flute later on, or just start with the flute straight away?
Depends on your age. Yeah, I would say. 7 to 8 is a good age to start the flute. And then if you're not ready for that, start on the recorder or piano.
Cool. Okay, and so now if we talk about like maybe pardon me, like different models of flute, what model would you recommend for a flute? Are there like brands, like really good brands you would recommend to families, or just get the flute from Aldi?
Well, professional brands would be Powell and Haynes, which are American, and then you've also got Altus, which is Japanese. They're probably the top 3, I would say. I've got a Powell head joint and an Altus body. Yeah, the professional teachers at my uni play on Powell's and Haynes, and have also played on Altus. But for beginners, I would just say a Yamaha or a Gemeinhardt, or maybe a Pearl. Yeah.
And are flutes easy to find? Like we're in Perth, so is it easy to find a flute in Perth, or do they sometimes have to be imported from overseas or interstate?
Well, a beginner flute you'll find very easily. You just go to any music store, they'll have some. But if you're looking for a very specific professional flute, you might have to go east. But we do definitely have a range of professional flutes here in Western Australia.
And what are some stores people can visit if they want to buy a flute?
So a student flute, you can literally just go to General Music here, or you can even just look on Marketplace for a second-hand flute. There's always going to be some resellers. But professional flutes, I would say Tempest Music in Como or Zenith Music in Claremont.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
But they also do lower end flutes.
And because you just mentioned second-hand flutes, so like, what are some things people should look for look out for?
Cautiously.
Yeah. About a second-hand flute.
Just make sure you've got the service history. It's like a car. Just make sure give it a go. Like, never buy it without not playing it. Give it a good play through.
The keys.
But I'll just give it a go.
Yeah. Cool. And in terms of maintenance, obviously you just talked about the service history. So do flutes have to be serviced regularly? Like how often, and what happens in the service, and like how do you take care of it?
So servicing flutes, probably every 6 months to a year.
Really, that sounds pretty frequent.
Yeah, well, I get mine serviced 6 months a year. You can, or students, probably once a year. But yeah, what happens when you get it serviced? Probably oil all of the rods, these long bars on the flute. Clean the pads, rotate the pads, which are these bits under the keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, give it a good clean, maybe even a polish. But yeah, and piccolo probably serves just once a year. I don't main
Because you play it
the
a bit
piccolo.
less probably.
I play the flute a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
6
And
months.
so service every 6 months to 1 year. And so what about like the cleaning that you do yourself, like to just maintain it? What's is there like a daily routine?
Yeah, so every day after I practice, I clean the inside and outside of my flute. So I'll clean the inside with this. I'll take all the pieces apart and clean the inside, and then once I'm done, I've got an exterior cloth and clean the outside. But if I'm being realistic, no high school or primary student will ever do this. Yeah, but you should if you want to keep your flute in a good condition.
Yeah.
And you don't want it to go bad.
Is there ever any like moisture that gets stuck in the tube?
Yeah,
Like,
after you play, you'll always see saliva in.
oh, and so that's why you like have that little.
Yeah, or just
Finger inside.
condensation.
Yeah.
Sometimes even the keys will get clogged,
Mm-hmm.
and that happens mostly on piccolo.
Yeah.
Because they're smaller. But yeah.
And sorry, this might be a very dumb question, but should you wash your hands before you play the flute?
You don't have to, but probably a good idea too, just to keep the keys clean. And even eating before playing the flute, you shouldn't eat before you play the flute, because you can get food in your flute, and that's gross. And sugar, definitely shouldn't eat sugar before playing the flute, because that will make your flute sticky, and then you can get sticky keys. Like no fizzy drinks or anything. That's like I always brush my teeth before I play my flute. Yeah.
That's an added benefit. You get clean teeth.
Yeah.
Okay, because when we play harp, I mean, ideally, like I always wash my hands before I play harp, because like you have oils on your skin, and so then like it can actually like make the strings like get a bit oily and then slippery, and it's just. Yeah, we just want to try to keep the strings as clean as we can. Okay. Oh, okay. I think you also talked about this in the first episode, but how much should parents expect a flute to be for a beginner flute, a decent one?
I'd probably just say around $800 or even less. Yeah, you can just go to a music store, and you can even just rent one. See how your child's going. Because renting is definitely an option. It's a good option, and they're not that expensive. Can be maybe even like $20 a week.
Cool. Yeah, it's nice to have that option. Amazing. I think that's it for this podcast. Was there anything else you wanted to say?
That was all.
That was all. Very nice. So I hope this episode was useful. We got to know about the flute made of nickel, wasn't it? Or silver, sometimes gold.
Brass, yeah, could mean.
So
yeah.
Is that like real gold?
Yeah.
So how much? Okay, so you just said like a beginner flute is like $700-800. If you had like a gold flute, professional one, like what's the difference?
They can be around $100,000.
100,000. That's even more than half. What?
They can be even more.
Do you know anyone who owns one?
Yes, I know many. Like most of the professionals in Wazo, or like my teachers, they have gold flute.
Wow. Well, good on them.
Good on them.
Live goal. Live goal right there. It's so funny because it's like such a skinny instrument, and then it can be like $100,000. Wow, that's crazy. All right, so here's something you can aim for, is to have a gold-plated flute at some point in your life.
Not plated, it's full gold.
Oh, it's full gold. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Even better. Alright, so thanks for tuning in to this episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like. Share it with your friends if you think any information in here was like useful. Any questions or feedback, you can leave a comment in YouTube or Instagram. My handle is Music Makers Academy, or you can even send an email. It's hello@musicmakersacademy.com.au. If you're listening to this and it's June, don't forget you can come for a free trial lesson, so get in touch to book yours. We have one final episode in this flute series, so make sure to come back next week where we're going to be debunking some common flute myths. So we'll speak to you then. Bye!